important game. You guys have had a great week of practice, all right? Let's top it off here with the great game. Let's play our best game of the year right here this afternoon. Everybody in, fighting our ass off for 4 quarters. All right, let's go. Let's have a great one. Let's go. Get it. You keep it even. You turn it to the heart. And our guys, our big play guys, on both sides of the ball, when you get a chance to step up and make a play, let's go make the play. We're going to win this game. Let's get our first road win, guys.
Both Bob Stoops and Kevin Gilbride looking for big performances from their teams today as the 2-2 New York Guardians hit the road to take on the 2-2 Dallas Renegades in Week 5 action of the XFL on Fox. Come on inside the broadcast booth to stay a while, folks. I'm Kurt Menefee along with Joel Klatt. And you know what, Joel? You got two teams both coming in at 2-2.
Yep.
This New York Guardians team, they were kind of struggling on offense for a couple of weeks. Made a change at quarterback last week. Luis Perez not only got him in the end zone, he got him a win.
Yeah, Luis Perez was a stabilizing force for this team, and they needed it badly, not only on offense, but really for their entire organization. And he came in and stabilized him. It wasn't necessarily the stat sheet that jumped out with these great eye-popping numbers, but it was his presence. They say he's a no-pulse guy. He came in there. His leadership was palpable. His teammates this week voted him a captain. I expect him to get better every single week now that he's getting more and more reps in this Kevin Gilbride system.
Meanwhile, Dallas made a change at quarterback this week for different reasons. Landry Jones, the face of this franchise, re-injured the knee that kept him out of Week 1, so now they have to go back to Philip Nelson.
Yeah, and Philip Nelson, he started Week 1, and he didn't play poorly, but they ended up losing to what is now a really good St. Louis Battlehawks team. But he got a chance to sit behind Landry Jones and learn, watching the veteran operate this system, get in and out of protections, get in and out of run play calls at the line of scrimmage. He feels like that's going to pay huge dividends for him here in his second start of the season. Also, big factor for him and this entire team, avoid turnovers. 5 turnovers last week in that matchup against Houston. If he can stay clean, this Dallas team is a very good club.
We can't wait to see how these two quarterbacks perform, but we're really excited to see how the guy performs down there on the sideline.
That's right.
And I don't know if we've had this before.
I don't think
active
so.
NFL player joining us on the sideline, and not just a player. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler for the New Orleans Saints, going into his 10th year. One of the best players in the National Football League, Cameron Jordan. And Cam, we are excited to have you with us.
What's up, man?
Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me here. We talk about how excited I am to be a part of this atmosphere, to be a part of the XFL's Renegades versus the New York Guardians. There's nothing I'm more excited about than being able to be on the sideline and have all this access. So you talk about, the kickoff rules that I'm super excited to see, to be able to watch guys return these kicks, have to return these kicks. I mean, can you imagine somebody like Devin Hester getting an opportunity each and every time, each and every game? That's something that makes me so excited. I'm excited about the extra points, the 1, 2, the 3 from the 10. My mind, I'm going for 10. I'm going for 3 every time. So I'm super excited just to be here.
I think we're super excited to see how long you last in that tie.
No doubt.
You don't seem like a tie guy to me.
That's right.
It's a chilly 64 degrees here. Great weather all around the country here as we get into March. A little bit windy, but the sun is out, so it shouldn't be too bad as Dallas comes into this game as the favorite. The over-under you see there, the numbers provided by Fox Bet. Now, keep in mind, each weekend you can win money playing XFL Super 6. All you have to do is download the Fox Sports Super 6 app and play for free for your chance to win $10,000. You know what? Cam Jordan talked about being excited, and this is one of the things that has excited a lot of people, the opening kickoff.
Yeah, these kickoff rules, folks, I think this is one of the great innovations that we've seen, one of many in this league. Here we go, kicking it from the 30. Kickoff team lines up at the 25 on the opposite side, or excuse me, 35. Receiving team at the 30. Nobody moves until the returner touches the ball, and let's go.
And he's doing it on the run. That's Austin Walter out to about the 34-yard line, and so Philip Nelson will take over from there. And as we mentioned, this is his second start, first one replacing the injured Landry Jones this week.
Yeah, and Philip Nelson is a guy that has gotten a lot of reps, because remember, Landry was injured the entire fall camp, or excuse me, I always say fall camp, the camp here. I guess it was December camp. So this is a guy that's had a lot of reps and now gotten a chance to learn for the last couple of weeks, like I was saying. So we'll see if he can pay that off here in the first few series.
They hand it off. Cameron Artis-Payne on first down with the carry.
Do you see them under center? What do we got going here? This is a new little wrinkle here from the How Money Air Raid offense. Here's your offensive line up front. They are dealing with some injuries, some shuffling around, but rest assured, it's about the skill position players, in particular these two backs, Lance Dunbar and Cameron Artis-Payne, a couple of the best players in this league.
And both in the backfield right now on 2nd and 3. They fake the handoff and out of the backfield, Lance Dunbar, and he picks up the first down.
This defense knows that they're going to have to contend with these backs and the tight end, Donald Parham. We'll get to him in a little bit. But this defense is big up front. They're strong down the middle. They're built front to back and inside out. And they're going to have their hands full with these running backs. It's not just about them handing the football to these backs, but the Renegades do as good a job of anybody of getting the ball to the backs out of the backfield in the passing game.
Here's Nelson on first down. Intended for Jeff Badette. Broken up. Falls incomplete.
Askew Henry was in there, number 22. Nice little play. Played his college football at West Virginia. And we'll see some tempo here from Dallas, and that's what we've seen from Hal Mumme throughout the season. Is he wants to go fast. He wants to get up to that line of scrimmage. And in particular with these big guys up front, try to get them tired early.
Nelson to the air again. Going downfield. Freddie Martino with the catch. Well, that's a way to get the young quarterback started.
Yeah, that's a great ball right there. Just a terrific pass from Philip Nelson, up and over the top, and then a little separation right there at the end. And does he get a foot down? There's control. It looks like, well, no, hadn't had control. That they need to stop this, because that, folks, was not a catch, and they did not get it stopped in time. That is a huge break.
It's a
Dallas.
32-yard play. You only need 1 foot down in the XFL, but we'll take a look at that again.
But remember, it's got to be post-control. Okay, so you got to establish control first. Now control is there. He's clearly out of bounds, so a big miss here from this replay booth. And right now they're stopping, but it's a flag out in the defensive backfield.
And they've run another play since then, so they can't go back and review that.
Are we good? We have 11 or 12. Prior to the snap, defense had too many men on the field. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So back-to-back bad breaks for Kevin Gilbride's team.
Yeah, and again, when you get a break like that, that's an incomplete ball.
Right.
But for Dallas, from their point of view, they did the right thing. They got up to the line of scrimmage. They snapped it quickly in order to avoid that replay. And then now you've got to pay it off and capitalize on that fortunate break. And we'll see if they can do that here with the ball in the red zone here on their first possession.
Yeah, from the 14-yard line now. Working from the shotgun, Nelson. Trying to stretch this one out, being chased from behind. Good job of pursuit by Ben Heaney.
Yeah, Heaney did a great job in there. He's a linebacker for them, and he gets the pressure and forces Nelson out of the pocket to his right. But here you see a big change for Bob Stoops, which is without Landry Jones at quarterback, they've got a little more athleticism with Philip Nelson, who was able to create a little bit and make a positive play out of something that was not going right for them after Heaney's pressure in the backfield.
All right, they spread their tight end Parham out to the top of the screen, out wide. He may be the best tight end in this league. Probably know maybe about it. They go to him and overthrows him.
That's the right idea. When you got a guy out there, he's 6'8", folks, 255, 260 pounds. Definitely has filled out a little bit since his time at Stetson, where he played his college football. But he is a breakout star right now in this XFL, and he's a guy that they've got to target early in this game and often.
And they're going for it on 4th and 6 early. Actually, it's 3rd down. 3rd and 6. Here's Nelson. Stepping up. Flynn Nagel, and he's hit right away. Demetrius Cox laying him out. And that will bring up a 4th down.
But he got in there in that short yardage situation. That was 3rd down, and now you're going to have to go for it, I believe, if you're Dallas. I know you'd love to come away with points, but it's even better to come away with a touchdown early. Keep in mind, huge defensive tackles for New York. These guys in the middle, they run 300 pounds each.
Here we go. Cameron Artis-Payne falling forward, gets the first. It'll be 1st and goal.
It's a good little move to the outside. I thought he did a great job as Frank Ginda, number 47, stepped up to stop him in the backfield. Artis-Payne quickly slipped back inside, dove for that line to gain, and was able to move the chains and create a 1st and goal.
And they hurry back to the offensive line.
Here we go. Monday. Ready, go ahead.
Nelson up top for Parham. Throws that one a little bit short. Drayvon Askew Henry able to swat it away.
There's Hal Mummy.
Hey, run the ball against that. Okay, go blue flip check again.
All right, what Hal is telling Philip Nelson is that Nelson has the ability to check into a run. If he gets that same look, he called a pass play, but if he gets the same look defensively, he wants him to run the football.
They do just that. Short little handoff down to the 5-yard line is Cameron Artis-Payne.
Let's see what Hal Mummy decides to do here.
Even, red 2 drop. Even, red 2 drop. Start. Start. Hey, hurry up, line up, let's go. 3 left. Hey, right here. Empty. Linda, Florida. Hey, here we go. 3 left. Hey, 6. Hey, 3 left. Hey, goose, easy goose. Here we go.
Got to snap it.
I was going to say Nelson needed every second so far. That was a lot of talk for a little yard.
Yeah, at the very end, I think he decided to jump up there and try to QB sneak it because they had a defensive tackle that got outside of the guard in that 3 technique. So he thought he could just kind of slip down the middle of the field. But the problem is that the linebacker stepped perfectly up into that position and stopped them for no gain. So a poor decision there from Philip Nelson to try to change that play, and now they're going to have to settle for that field goal even after the 4th down conversion on the last set of downs.
Here's Mr. Perfect. Austin McGinnis, 8 for 8 on the season. Most field goals in the XFL. He's 9 for 9 after getting that 23-yarder through. And so the Renegades open the game, first possession. They put points on the board, and Bob Stoops' team is up 3-0. Well, tomorrow on Fox, it's a duel in the desert as the NASCAR Cup Series heads to Phoenix, where Kyle Busch will look to defend last year's victory. All the action from the track starts at 3:30 Eastern on Fox, and always on the Fox Sports app.
Got to tell you, defensive coordinator for New York, Jim Herman, has got to be happy with his guys after they had the ball down there inside the 10, 1st and goal, forcing a field goal out of this Dallas team on their opening possession. So a huge win for Jim Herman.
Justin Stockton drops the kickoff. Gets through a hole, maybe to his advantage. Beats the kicker. Now we'll try to outrun everybody. Caught from behind. Great return. Down to Tatello Brown. Saved a touchdown. But what a recovery by Justin Stockton. 59 yards on that one.
I got to tell you, how many times do you see it where there's a little bit of a bobble by a return man, whether it's a punt or a kickoff, and it's this bobble. It just throws everybody off for some reason. He picks it up, and then he's gone. Right there, he makes a decisive move right up the middle of the field, and then he turns on the Jets and sets up his Guardians with great field position here, plus side of the 50 at the 40-yard line. What a return.
Starting at the Renegades 40. Darius Victor lowers his shoulders, just keeps on fighting. And Victor gets 6 yards, all 5'6" of it.
Yeah, and they've got 2 big backs, and now what they feel like is that stabilizing force at the quarterback position. It's Luis Perez, his 2nd start this season. He won his 1st start last week over Los Angeles at home, and now he comes in here, and this is going to be a more methodical offense than what you see from Dallas. This is more of a pro style, handled at the line of scrimmage, and Luis has done a heck of a job getting a lot more reps here in the last few weeks.
Dallas jumped early.
Just a matter of if all of his players held their water while Dallas was jumping around.
98 of the defense. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
That's on Jalen Robinson. You talk about the quarterback being a stabilizing force with Perez. They feel that same way about the offensive line, which is healthy now.
Yeah, and Damian Mama is a guy they got late in camp in a trade with Los Angeles. It was actually the same trade that brought Perez over from Los Angeles. And now he's a lot more seasoned in what they're doing up front. And then their two backs, they are big backs. Darius Victor and Tim Cook, both are over 225 pounds.
Here's Perez. Gets rid of it out to Victor. Hung in there. Take a look at this defense here. Tini Adewasu, who was the one that brought the pressure on that last play.
Yeah, and Frank Alexander, we'll have a mic on him. He is all over the field. This guy is a terrific player. Greer Martini is a good leader and a stabilizing force for them at the linebacker position. And then Josh Hawkins, 28. He's their best cover corner. He did a heck of a job last week against the best wide receiver in the XFL, Cam Phillips from Houston. Phillips only had one reception in that game, and a lot of that was due to the fact that Josh Hawkins played fantastic at corner.
Had one catch for 9 yards as we see Victor pick up a couple. You know, this Dallas defense has played well as we see G.A. Magnus making the call.
Straight lines. Let's go. Gun trips right. Gun trips right 62. Double chip, book special. W post.
I was going to say, Dallas's defense has had his back against the wall so often this season because their offense leads the league in turnovers.
That's right.
But they have responded time and time again to at least keep their team in the game.
Well, and a lot like this, the long return drive started at the +40, and here they've got an opportunity on 3rd down.
Perez under pressure, gets rid of it too high, incomplete in the direction of Joe Horn Jr.
Nowhere to go with the ball. Good coverage down the field, and it allowed the rush to eventually get there. And Perez takes a bit of a hit here as he's trying to get the ball down the field, but there was no separation. The wide receivers in the back end unable to separate from these defensive backs, and that ball just over the reach of Joe Horn.
And so this Dallas defense does a good job after that great return. Matthew McCrane, 5 for 5 on the season. Trying this one from 46 yards away. And he stays perfect.
Wow.
Both field goal kickers have yet to miss all season. And they put each team on the board after one possession. St. Louis and D.C., the top 2 teams in the East, but headed in opposite directions right now. 3 o'clock Eastern on FS1. And then at 9 Eastern on ESPN is the Tampa Bay Vipers, who suddenly look great on offense against the L.A. Wildcats.
How about that run game they featured last week? I mean, my goodness, they were terrific running the football with Jaquiz Patrick, Davion Smith, both of them over 100 yards. They were terrific in that big win last week.
Well, it's a 10-game season, so you can't write anyone off too early, and that's one of the beauties right now. Both these teams right now in our game come in at 2-2, and they're tied at 3 after one possession each. And Dallas will take it over for the second time. Austin Walter again. Bryce Jones with his stop there. And now earlier today, the only undefeated team stayed undefeated as the Houston Roughnecks knocked off the Seattle Dragons 32-23, scoring the last 18 points of that game. Another huge day. P.J. Walker, most passing yards of the XFL season. And look at Cam Phillips, 2 more touchdowns.
And they had to overcome an early 14-0 deficit as well. So they faced some adversity. They were able to overcome that. That Houston team is a really good team led by the quarterback, P.J. Walker. I think Cam Phillips is making a strong case for why he not only is going to be in a camp next fall, but maybe on a roster with the type of play that he's putting out. As you now see the standings, Houston at 5-0. This is a huge game for these 2-2 teams. You got a banged up Renegade on that kick.
Doyen Jabot
played George Washington High School in Denver, Colorado. Played at Fort Hays State. 2-time All-American at Fort Hays.
Yeah, can't even put pressure on it. So obviously not a good sign there as they help him over to the sidelines. He's been a key part of their special teams unit.
Well, this offense for Dallas had a good rhythm after that long pass play to Martino.
Did you see this offense look any differently than it would under Landry Jones after one possession?
Landry is just so much more under control when he's handling and operating those checks at the line of scrimmage. You got the sense that it was moving a little fast for Philip Nelson on that first series. We'll see if it slows down for him here.
And so he gets it out to Jeff Badette to start this series off. Short gain, just a couple of yards on the play.
Yeah, but more importantly, because New York knows that Dallas wants to handle things at the line of scrimmage and check into run plays, what Jim Herman, the defensive coordinator, wants to do is show Philip Nelson pictures and then change those pictures and the structure of the defense at the snap of the football in order to try to confuse the young quarterback and give New York a bit of an advantage.
Plenty of time to pass for Nelson. Goes short underneath, and the pass is caught. Cameron Artis-Payne with the reception.
There's Jim Herman.
1-3. Rush, 1-3.
Trying to change up a little bit. Double 3. Some sort of middle close coverage, I would assume. There right now that looks like there's 2 safeties. Now it looks like one's starting to come down a little bit. We'll see what it ends up being. There it goes. Close safety, middle field.
You can hear Nelson directing traffic. Hooks up with his tight end, Sean Price, for a first down.
Nice play from Dallas. I like the timing from Philip Nelson. What he's able to do here is create some yards after the catch with the fact that the ball is out on time and it's accurate out in front of that tight end, and he's able to then lean forward, and Sean Price moves the chains for the Renegades.
Gain of 8. From the 42. Quick pass out. Flynn Nagel had a couple of blockers but couldn't get through. Winds up getting stopped by A.J. Hindy.
Yeah, this defense, they've talked a lot about the fact that the effort of their defense is what is the strength. I think it's also the size up front for them, and it's going to be really tough on Dallas to try to run the football because of the size of those defensive tackles.
Play fake. Dunbar. Another short pickup. Only 1 yard on that one.
Stay in blue and let's go 95.
How Mummy, those short air raid play calls right to the point, helps with tempo.
Mummy calling the game from upstairs in the booth. Got hit on the sideline last week and injured his knee. Said he hadn't called up from the booth since early in his career, and he's been coaching for about 40 years. So it's been a while. Nelson going deep down the sideline. No flags on the play. Freddie Martino, the intended receiver. Bryce Jones there on the coverage.
Boy, I thought there was some contact there. Nelson had a free rusher right in his face. New York did a great job with the blitz, disguising it, getting a free rusher in Philip Nelson's face. And then there was a lot of contact down the field. See right there, Jones. Well, I don't know. That's not significant quite enough to draw a flag, at least not from that angle. And Bryce Jones is able to have a nice defensive play there, and Dallas has to punt it away.
Drew Gallitz on for the punt for Dallas. Gets it off. High kick. Austin Duke. Duke bottled up and pushed backwards. He'll get his forward progress, but another good stand, this time by the coverage team. 41 on the punt, 12 on the return. So now Luis Perez will get shot number 2. Here's a guy played his college ball right up the road from here. Texas A&M Commerce, less than an hour from where we are right now, and won a national championship there in Division II.
Defense made a nice stand. Remember, after that great return to the 40-yard line, we'll see what this defense has lined up for Luis Perez and the Guardians here on this series.
Dallas jumped again. Flags out. Free play for Perez, who runs it, showing some wheels. Nice gain on the run by Perez. We'll see if this stands at 17 yards right now.
Cam, that makes a defensive lineman just want to crawl in a hole, right? He knows he jumped off sides. Everyone knows he jumps offside.
I mean, you get a little antsy, you jump off sides. First one's on you, but you don't really get more than one time. I mean, you see they already switched him out. You got Tomasi Lule in there, and you know, now he's just got to make the bigger play. You got to come back for it.
I'm interested. Did you ever have like a key for you to help yourself? You know, a guy likes to go on 2 or something along those lines. Do you have a key to try to hold your water in there?
Absolutely. I mean, when you talk about, you know, being able to know your quarterbacks, whether that's, you know, somebody who lifts his foot before he snaps the ball, or you're looking at your left tackle. It's all about those keys that are going to help you with that jump.
Joe Horn bobbled that one. It was a good throw from Perez, even though he was hit as he threw it. On the mark still, but Horn just couldn't pull it in.
Yeah, I thought it was a good ball there, and Horn had a chance. That first chance at it, he could have corralled that, as we got a Guardian down back behind the line of scrimmage. Looks like one of the offensive linemen, and that bobble just didn't allow Horn to corral it before he went out of bounds. I think that's John Kling. John Kling, the
Kling, number 70, the right tackle. And he is still down. You can see he got hit a little awkwardly. Player on his back, and he also fell into one of his other linemen.
Yeah, Anthony Coyle was the one that looked like he was in a more precarious situation, but Kling is the one down there working on that. Looks like that right leg. That's just not what you want to see.
Well, while they take an injury timeout, we'll take a brief break as well. Well, the Guardians starting right tackle John Kling just getting up and being helped off the field by his teammates. But unfortunately, we've seen a couple of injuries here in the early going.
Man.
6'7", 353 pounds, and you can see it takes a couple of guys to help him out as he's barely putting weight on that right leg.
That's just tough to see. He was an undrafted free agent back in 2016 with the Bears. He was in the practice squad player with the Washington Redskins in 2017. Was waived in the final cuts in 2018. Played in the AAF last year with Atlanta. And let's hope that that's not as serious as it looks.
So he goes out. Brent Weiss comes in. Second down for New York. Overthrows everybody there. I think Perez had a chance. Deron Smith, really the nearest guy, and he plays for the Renegades.
Smith took a great angle on that, the safety. They were trying to find Mikhail McKay down the field, but he took such a hard inside release that he was way too close to the safety. That would have been a very tough throw. And Perez is actually fortunate that he did overthrow him, or else I thought Deron Smith could have come down with an interception there.
Yeah. There wasn't much in front of him. So instead, it's third down. Here's Perez being chased out of the pocket. Keeping his eyes downfield, and winds up just throwing that one out of bounds wisely.
Well, this Dallas defense gives as many looks as anybody in the XFL, whether it's pressure looks, the amount of coverages that they run for their coordinator, Chris Woods. And that's clearly causing the offensive line and Luis Perez some problems here early in this game. It's been tough for them to diagnose what's going on, and we've seen pressure in Perez's face time after time after time, and forcing him to get out of the pocket, step up in the pocket, and he can just not get comfortable right now.
So Justin Vogel, the former Pro Bowler with the Green Bay Packers, punched this one high for Flynn Nagel. Inside the 15. Makes a move out across the 25-yard line, down about the 27. Well, coming up this Wednesday through Saturday, the Big East tournament tips off at the legendary Madison Square Garden, where the biggest stars in the conference battle it out for the right to be called champion. Make sure you catch all the action on Fox, FS1, and the Fox Sports app. Well, the team that calls New York home in the XFL, the Guardians, and the Dallas Renegades all tied at 3 as we reach the final 90 seconds or so of this opening quarter. Flea flicker. Nelson looking, can't find anyone, and New York played that perfectly. Savon Walker and Ben Heaney wind up wrapping him up.
The safeties did such a good job not biting. There was nowhere to go with the football. The entire secondary, it's almost like they knew exactly what was coming from Dallas, and then eventually that rush got home as Nelson had nowhere to go with the football.
Lost a yard. New York not surprised at all. Cameron Otis-Payne, and he goes nowhere. Ben Heaney again.
I'll tell you, those defensive tackles are just making life miserable. Watch these tackles, these big guys in here. There's just no movement that Dallas is getting. And so the linebackers are unblocked, they're untouched, they're able to just scrape over the top, get in there and make their run fits. These defensive tackles are doing a heck of a job. I told you about their size, and they're already making their presence known here early in this game.
3rd and long. Nelson under pressure gets rid of it. Otis-Payne, he goes nowhere. What a performance on this series by this Guardians defense.
They continue to get better and better and better. Talking with Jim Herman, the defensive coordinator, before the game, he said a big reason why this defense is playing better is the fact that Luis Perez is now their quarterback, the belief that they have in him. He said it is crazy how every football team in America, the effort level increases when you all of a sudden have a quarterback that you really believe in and trust. Was voted a captain this week by his teammates in Luis Perez, and even though he hasn't played great so far in this first quarter, you can tell that defense knows, hey, we got a guy that's going to be around for 4 quarters. And Jim Herman certainly has a defense that's playing well so far.
1 quarter in the books. Renegades and Guardians all even at 3. Season in 5th week. Kurt Menefee, Joel Klatt in the broadcast booth. Cam Jordan of the New Orleans Saints roaming the sidelines with us this weekend as Dallas is set to punt. And this Guardians defense has really been good here in the early going.
Yeah, they really have. And credit to their coaching staff. But Dallas, you know, they've got to feel like they're okay because this Dallas team is used to starting slow.
Yeah.
And then they have been a really good second half team. So there's no reason to panic here on the Renegade side.
Austin Duke makes the fair catch at the 30-yard line. Let's get it down to Cam Jordan. Cam, what you got?
I've got Ben Heaney here. You know, the way they've taken the field the first quarter, you figured the first 3 series, you guys sort of did your job and shut them down. After the first quarter, you got 3 points. Tell me, have you done that?
Yeah, we, you know, we're just executing the game plan, how we've been practicing all week, and just everything's come together. You know, we see a couple things out there and just adjusting, executing, and just following the game plan.
It looks like you guys are really making an impact in the backfield. You got your defensive line going. You've got yourself coming downhill. Playing, you know, they're trying to slow you down with the screens and, you know, little quick outside plays.
Yeah.
But you guys are adjusting really well. Tell me exactly what's going on your side.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of anticipated a lot of that. They're doing a lot of 2-back, 21 personnel type stuff, kind of just stuff we anticipated. And we have a couple new packages this week that we've been practicing to try to slow that down a little bit, and it's been working. So
it's clearly been effective this first quarter. I mean, 3 tackles in. Keep balling, bro.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. What are we doing here?
I think Cam's nerding out down there.
There's no doubt.
He's with his people.
I love it. I just love seeing these guys. Cam was in our meetings yesterday as well, and the players walk in, and it's like there's a 5-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
You know, it's Cam Jordan sitting in front of them.
They're in awe.
Yeah, they are.
Here's Perez. And that's E.J. Bibbs. Tight end comes in, makes the grab. Out to the 35.
Gun box bunch swap. Gun box bunch swap. Right. 62 curl special. X Barber, McHale.
Calling the special route from McHale.
He's down at the bottom of the screen, spread out wide to the left. Matched up against Josh Hawkins. We talked about the job he did on Cam Phillips last week. Here comes the blitz. They go that way for McHale. Goes up and pulls it down. That's what happens when you're 6'5".
What a catch right there. Look at this ball placement as well from Perez. He knows he's got the height advantage. He goes up the ladder, and then McKay's able to get up there and secure the ball. Strong hands at the catch point, even with Hawkins with his hand right up through his kind of catching basket right there in his own hands, and he's able to pull it down. What a terrific play and great execution there from Perez and McKay. That was a lot of language to basically say, hey, throw it to our guy who's got the height advantage.
Gain of 22. Perez underneath, and it's dropped this time. Right into the hands of Colby Pearson, incomplete.
And this is a team that has been wanting to get more explosive. You know, they understand that they're a bit of a ball control team right now, that they're a bit of a methodical offense. They want to be balanced under Kevin Gilbride, but they know that eventually they're going to have to get explosive and get down the field. And they've looked at Mikhail McKay as a guy that can potentially do that, and he helps them out here early in the second quarter with a big play down the field.
Yeah, trying to use that size to their advantage as much as possible. Here's the little man, Darius Victor. When you say little, meaning in stature, he's, as the coaches say, he's 5'6" basketball height.
Yeah, 3 wides. Let's go. Gun trips right, 62 Phantom. Gun trips right, 62 Phantom. Let's go, T.O.
62. Here we go. Hey, throw it out my 51.
Third and long. All kinds of time for Perez. Another connection, T.O. Redding, and that will be a first down inside the 20. And now New York begins to pick it up in chunks, this time 23 yards.
What happened on the first few series is that Perez didn't have any time. Watch the pocket on this play. He's got plenty of time. He's able to get to the third man in the progression, step into his throw, and deliver an absolute strike down the field to T.O. Redding. And Redding's able to come across the field, move the chains, and now they're in business inside the red zone for the first time today.
Victor with a blocker in front of him. Fighting. Another good run by this running back. I was joking earlier about 5'6" basketball height. They don't think he's that big, but he's almost 230 pounds.
Check out the blocking on the right side, Kurt. You've got guard blocking down E.J. Bibbs, an excellent block from the tight end position, even though he was back lined up as a fullback, right? Kind of a hybrid style. Number 88, he's back there right now, and it wouldn't surprise me at all to see them get back downhill, let E.J. Bibbs lead the way.
Same play. And this time, Victor cuts it back inside. It will be first and goal.
All right, let's go. 3 wides. Gun trips left. 63 firm. Double hook pump. X fade. T.O. X fade. Gun trips left. 63 firm, double hook, pump, X fade.
Okay, so X is going to be at the top of the screen. He's going to have that fade right up here. Pump basically means I think that they're going to try to fake a hook route, something like this, and then pump it and get it back into the end zone.
They go to the top and along the sideline. T.O. Redding just going to be out of bounds when he caught it. Tristan Deku. Good coverage by the defensive back.
When you see or hear one of those just tags on the end, like, hey, X fade or something like that, if you get in one-on-one situation as a quarterback with that tagged route, you're going to take it all day long. And, boy, didn't it look like he potentially gained control? There's a foot.
And there's a second. And remember, you only need 1 foot inbounds for it to count as a completion.
That looked very good.
Coaches can't challenge, and the replay booth doesn't stop it.
I don't know what our replay booth is doing today. They should have stopped it earlier on a clear incompletion that they let stand and continue to play. This one absolutely should have gotten looked at. There's control. There's a foot down. And now, as long as he maintains control through going to the ground, that should be a touchdown. That is a terrible break for New York. And remember,
yeah, I mean, that looked like a touchdown, but it certainly should have at least been looked at.
Well, and remember now, the only thing that we're not seeing in those replays is did he maintain possession through the process of going to the ground?
Third down, Perez escaping. Trying to make something happen, just throws it out. Tony Garrod in pursuit. And now will be 4th down. But going back to that play, you think at least it should be stopped to take a look.
Well, and the only thing that I'm considering is that there was a look that the replay booth got that showed them that he lost control when he was going to the ground and then ultimately didn't survive the ground. They did draw. I think this is going to be intentional grounding, and it absolutely is.
The ball be placed at the spot of the foul. Loss of down. 4th down.
The reason this is intentional grounding, guys, is because even though he's out of the pocket, this is the previous play, okay? So did he maintain control through going to the ground? No, the ball was out. That's why they let it go on. Incomplete, not a touchdown. Then on this next play, it was called grounding even though he was outside of the pocket because the ball never got back to the line of scrimmage.
It'll be 4th down.
So it'll just make the field goal attempt longer.
So when you're outside of the pocket, yes, you can burn the football. You can throw it anywhere, but you can't just throw it out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. You do get the line of scrimmage extended, but that ball did not come close to the line of scrimmage, which is why ultimately that flag was thrown late.
So it'll be a 34-yard field goal attempt by Matthew McCrane, who stays perfect on the year, now 10 for 10. And extends the lead a little bit more for the Guardians.
Hit the ground, the ball.
As Luis Perez explaining to his offensive coordinator, G.A. Mangus, what happened on that last series. Mangus thought the ball was caught by Redding for a touchdown, and Perez had to explain to him, like we had to, that he actually dropped it. So he saw it live. The replay booth did take a look at it, and they saw the drop, and that's why it was called an incomplete pass correctly. But they do get a field goal out of it, so this battle of field goals, 6-3 right now. New York on top. Low-scoring affair. We shouldn't be surprised. Both these teams have hit the under each week this season. Walter again on the return. And stopped right at the 26-yard line.
Let's see what Dallas decides to do here with Hal Mummy as their play caller. I think that they need to calm Philip Nelson down a little bit. You do that by getting the ball to your playmakers. So I would immediately look at a guy like Lance Dunbar, number 25, number 49, Donald Parham, the tight end, and call plays to try to get the football to those guys, get a couple of first downs, and settle the offense down so that we can try to get into some sort of rhythm here moving forward.
So they throw it to Dunbar out of the backfield. And the running back, who's actually the leading receiver in the entire XFL as far as receptions go, makes the grab. Andrew Sorrell tackles him after a 6-yard pickup.
Yeah, and they're cognizant of that, and that's one of the reasons why you see the kickoff return man, Austin Walter, number 27, here today, is because they're going to spell Lance Dunbar a little bit because he's been getting so many touches.
Hey, Dog Roger! Dog Roger! Dog Roger!
You can hear Nelson changing the play. Get it off in plenty of time. Underneath, bobbles, and Dunbar pulls it in eventually.
Open, 6 wide shallow.
Bronco yellow, number 3. Hey, Bronco Roger. Hey,
they're going to have the Y, which is, I believe, Parham on this play. Parham right here. And the shallow would be that he would be coming across the field. Something like that. He's in man coverage. They got a good play call here if Parham can beat his man across the field.
Instead, they hand it off to Dunbar, runs it up the middle. Good enough for the first down.
So even though the pass play is called from Hal Mummy, what they can do at the line of scrimmage and that they want to do is that in the air raid offense, the run game is controlled by the quarterback up there. If he gets the numbers and he's got blockers for men in the run defensive box, then he's going to run the football.
Gain of 5 on that last run. They get to the line pretty quickly and then take their time before snapping the ball.
And you see he gives them hands, right? He calls a cadence, which is a dummy cadence, and then he steps up and changes the play. A lot like a guy I watched in New Orleans do that on Sunday.
Pass broken up, intended for Josh Crockett. Good coverage. Drayvon Askew Henry.
Yeah. Hey, Cam, you know a guy I see on Sunday do that is Drew Brees. He's always giving dummy cadences, giving his hands to try to get the defense to show what they have, and then he can change the play.
Absolutely. I mean, would you talk about the GOAT? what he's able to do with our offense, with Mike Thomas, Jared Cook, Alvin Kamara. I mean, there's just so many different avenues that he can take to make a big play. So when he does adjustments, just like young Philip Nelson has been doing, he's just trying to see exactly what the defense is going to do, if they're in disguise, if they're not, and the way that, you know, the safeties have been trying to disguise everything, it makes it real palpable for Nelson to try and switch it up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, he did the right thing there, 16 yards to Jazz Ferguson.
Yeah, and that was a really nice play, stepping up in the pocket.
Into Guardian territory. Little hand signal behind the back this time. Nelson overthrows everybody. Jeff Badette, the nearest receiver there.
You know, when I say he gives hands to the defense, watch Philip Nelson. He's going to try to get up to the line of scrimmage as quickly as he can. And then he's going to put his hands up, get everyone set, and put his hands up. And if they don't snap it, what he's trying to do is get the defense to show what they're doing. See his hands up right now? He's there. And then he can change the play if he wants it.
Dunbar. Short 1-yard run. Ben Heaney has been active all day today.
Also voted captain this week by his teammates.
Their starting middle linebacker. Here comes the pressure. Nelson up top for Badette. Oh, Badette had a step or two, but the connection just wasn't there.
Yeah, that's a mistake from Nelson. He had the look, he had the one-on-one, Badette even got a step and gained some separation, and Nelson just threw it out of bounds. 100% of passes thrown out of bounds are incomplete. That's just one of those cardinal rules for a quarterback, is you've got to give your wide receiver a chance, and he did not do that as Badette gained that step and would have had a big play down the field.
Yeah, they missed out on an opportunity there. Drew Gallitz with the punt. Austin Duke, fair catch right at the 13-yard line. 4 minutes, 45 seconds left to go here in the first half. The Guardians and Dallas Renegades, both teams trying to get over the 500 mark to start the second half of the season. Yet 6-3. The Guardians on top. Luis Perez making his second straight start after leading them to victory and really kind of stabilizing everything for this team last week. And you can almost feel it, not just with the offense and the defense, with the coaching staff, and everybody just seems much more calm than they were in previous weeks.
Yeah, and you know, it's also shown up in more consistent play on the field. He came into the game completing 71% of his passes. That was almost 20% increase from the rest of the quarterbacks for the Guardians. So certainly more consistent play, which leads to some of that belief from your teammates.
Here's Justin Stockton now in at running back, cuts it back. And a nice run by Stockton.
You know, it's clear to me that early in this game, the best thing that they've got going on right now is that they've got, when E.J. Bibbs is in the backfield and they're running the ball downhill on the interior of the defense, that's where the Guardians are moving the ball, getting movement, and eventually what's going to happen is the safeties are going to have to start playing closer to the line of scrimmage, and then you'll get a play action opportunity down the field. But you don't have to do it too soon. Just continue to hammer away with this run game.
And here's Stockton again after the 15-yard run previously. Picks up 4 more.
Let's go. Run 2 wide. East gas. Gun 2 wide. East gas. X slide.
Play clock down to 10. High snap. Stockton again. Now, this has been the Justin Stockton possession. This time, give him 10 more.
Yeah, that offensive line is winning up front. You can feel it right now. They're in a rhythm up front, and the best thing a play caller can do is continue to feed that rhythm for the guys playing offensive line. Let them come off the football. Let them continue to be physical. That will wear down the defensive front of the Dallas Renegades and pay huge dividends here later in this half and then later in the second half in particular.
New York averaging about 6.5 yards a carry right now. Stockton again. Another big run, another double-digit gain. This time, 12.
I tell you what, it's all about guys that are not just the offensive linemen. Watch this hook block on the edge. This is 87 Jake Powell. That is a perfect block. That's what tight ends have to do to be great, well-rounded tight ends. Jake Powell is a very good receiver, make no doubt about it, and they want to get him the ball, but he's doing his job at the line of scrimmage in the run game, which is opening up these holes and just wide holes for the running back Stockton to run through.
Yeah, I think he needed a breather. He goes out of the game. Perez off the play fake, hanging in the air, intended for Mikhail McKay. It falls incomplete as Treston Deku was there on the coverage.
I know that was a little bit of a play fake, almost like an RPO style deal. It was just a kind of a token fake. I would have loved to have seen a hard downhill action and then boot the quarterback outside. You got to give the defense the same look that they've struggled to stop and then do something off of that. Put them in conflict, do something off of that, rather than just try to throw the football down the field on a fade.
Well, they got a little time to talk it over as we reach the 2-minute warning. Guardians on top and looking for more. It's gotten the run game going on this drive. 40 yards all on the ground so far. Ball's at the 47 of Dallas. Kurt Menefee, Joel Klatt in the broadcast booth. Saints Pro Bowl defensive end Cam Jordan hanging out with us on the sideline today. As Luis Perez and this Guardians offense tries to add to their lead before the break. First pass completion of this drive, and it's dropped. Joe Horn makes it incomplete, and that's 2 drops by Horn so far this game.
That one was right at his face mask. It was absolutely perfect. They had the right play call, emotions over. Dallas had a hard time adjusting. He's got to make that catch. We've seen now twice Horn have to kind of make that second catch, bobble the initial pass, and pays the price at the end of it.
Yeah, it looked like he might have been bracing for that hit from Gerald Rivers. Horn, of course, the son of Joe Horn, the longtime New Orleans Saint.
Reset the game clock to 1 minute 56 seconds. The clock will be on the snap.
So they reset the game clock and the play clock here.
Remember, the clock rules change inside of 2 minutes, so what normally stops the clock stops the clock. So that was an incomplete pass.
It's under further review.
I think that they're going to take a look at that hit, but the clock rules, just to finish that off. Now, plays that normally the clock would run, you know, a normal run play inbounds or a complete pass inbounds, what's going to happen is the game clock actually stops. The ball is spotted, then the play clock starts, goes from 25, and then once it hits 20, then the game clock is going to start. So here's the review.
Inside where he never completed the process of the catch. So ruling on the field is confirmed. Okay.
Thank you.
That's Robert Liu, our replay official. And they stopped to make sure that it was not a catch. And you heard him say it wasn't. As the transparent booth here.
Further review. Ruling on the field is confirmed for an incomplete pass. The clock is correct at 1:56. It will start on the snap.
So all the housekeeping is done. It's 3rd and 10. Dallas showing pressure. They back off. Perez dumps it off. Justin Stockton. And Stockton has been busy on this drive. Makes the reception before Josh Hawkins stops him 6 yards on the play.
And this is a great place to go for it right here. You get across the 40. Now it's a short yardage situation after that nice gain on 3rd down, and they will keep their offense on the field and go for it here on 4th.
Needing 2 yards on what has been a run-heavy drive. They go to the air. And that's complete. Kobe Pearson fighting. We'll see if he made it. Treston Deku was there wrestling with him, and it looks like he's going to be short.
Boy, it looked from up here like he had made it on his forward progress. I thought that was a Very good spot for Dallas there. We'll see where he was actually contacted. Definitely looks like he got to that line to gain with the football and then was taken back. As the game looks, see that ball's in the left hand. He was kind of lunging at that point. Remember, progress then would be ruled right at the contact point with Tristan Deku. And then he comes back a little bit towards where they actually spotted it. That is a tough one right there. That's a great look by our camera crew right down the line. It certainly looked like that football got to the, I guess that would be the 37-yard line. They marked it all the way back at the 38.
That's about as bang as you can get.
Is under further review.
Yeah, no surprise. They're going to stop the game and take another look at this one.
I tell you, I don't know if there's going to be enough to overturn.
Right.
But I did think that was not.
Jeff, we're taking a look to see if he made the line to gain here. We have a camera angle that's pretty much straight down the line to the line to gain. It's on his hip.
And remember, it's where the ball is.
Yeah.
That looks good. Looks good. It looks good from there. Well, we're seeing
Loose side of the ball. Unfortunately, it's not enough, so we're going to have the stands on this, okay? Even though we have a good angle, we lose the ball.
I totally disagree. The ball's right there. What's he talking about?
Positive. Yeah. So we're going to have the stands on this.
Okay. After further review, they're really on the field stands.
Field stands.
Thank you.
The most upfield the ball ever gets, it's right in the middle of the screen.
Ruling on the field stands. First down, Dallas.
Let's go to LA and bring in our rules analyst, Dean Blandino. Dean, he said he didn't have a look at the ball. The most upfield the ball gets, he's got a perfectly good look, and it absolutely looked like it hit the 37-yard line to me.
Yeah, I don't disagree that the nose of the ball may have made the 37, but remember, it's the point of first contact, and it looks like he actually loses maybe a couple of inches when he's first contacted. I just don't know if there was enough to overturn that.
Is that what this was basically about? The call on the field, not reversing it, no matter which way it was called?
It was really close. Again, I thought we had really good looks at it, but you're looking at where the ball is when he's first contacted in relation to the line of gain, and I just don't think it was clear that he actually made the 37 at that point.
I think it was interesting, too. Our white hat, Jeff Heiser, was looking at the Jumbotron here in the building, and you heard him say, it looks good to me.
Here's Philip Nelson escaping. And thank you very much, Dean. We appreciate you taking the time to join us. And that pass is complete out to Freddie Martino for the first down.
Dean's always right. I just disagree.
Well, I disagreed live, and after seeing the replay, I thought he made it live. And then you see the replay, and I think it was enough to overturn it. But Dallas gets another break from replay here. And here's Lance Dunbar. Flags down on the play as he takes the second effort. Good enough for a 6-yard pickup right now.
Holding on the other freaking team. Gotta be kidding me.
Holding. Offense, number 70. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Well, if you had any doubt as to which team that was against, just listen to Bob Stoops. That's Willie Beavers, his left tackle, who got called.
Shit, they've been holding our ass off damn day. They haven't called it once. Now you know that? That's ridiculous.
Everybody said that Stoops is much more relaxed and much happier here in the XFL than he was on those tense Oklahoma sidelines.
Oh, Kurt, trust me, that is.
Okay, that's the relaxed Bob Stoops. Here's Cameron Artis-Payne. He's forced out of bounds.
I mean, it's just such a huge penalty, though, because they're going to have 2nd and 4 after that nice little 6-yard gain, and then the holding call. And he understands how hard it is, to come back from that. They haven't had a bunch of rhythm offensively, so he's certainly frustrated.
You can see he's still pleading his case. Loss of a yard by Artis-Payne.
Short. Here we go. Monday.
They decide just to kind of run the football here. Under a minute left on 2nd and 21.
Yeah, but with these clock rules, remember now, you can always think about 4-down territory. So they're on 2nd down. It's like, get as much as we can. Here on 3rd down, their main objective here is to make this a more manageable 4th down opportunity here. So you've got to get at least half of it back. Make this a 4th and 5, 4th and 4. You can keep your offense on the field and go for it.
Well, they're letting a lot of clock run if they're planning on trying to do something before halftime. This will certainly help. Philip Nelson goes airborne. He's going to be short of the 1st down, but you wanted to get half of it. They got a lot more than that on the run.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Great decision here, and he gives up his body, goes high, pays the price, loses the football as he comes down. But here's the 4th down. They will keep their offense on the field and go for it here.
So they got 13, making it 4th and 1. Blitz picked up. Nelson, wide open, Donald Parham, 1st down and more. And the 6'8" tight end fights his way down to the 15-yard line. Perfect play.
Perfect play call, too. I love it. They get heavy play action. They get the tight end down the field, and it's an easy completion for Philip Nelson. And they have timeouts to spare. So with 16 seconds left, they get the timeout called. What a great little play call right there. So here's Parham, and he's just going to slip through, and then he's going to get onto the corner route. Look at the heavy play action. Now Philip Nelson rolls to his right, and Parham is wide open. A little bit of a bust in protection, or excuse me, in coverage there from New York. Can't let the 6'8" guy be that wide open down the field. And this is absolutely great execution. Remember now, they had that 2nd and short. They had the holding, so this was 1st and 20, then 2nd and 21. They get a nice completion, a good scramble, and then an excellent play call on 4th down to create a little momentum here and potentially get a score before the half.
First catch of the day for the tight end, who has 4 touchdown receptions on the season, 2nd most in the XFL. 24 on that play.
With a timeout still left in 16 seconds, I would work the middle of the field and try to make it a much easier path towards the end zone for your next snap here.
From the 18. Nelson towards the end zone. Parham, the intended receiver, was battled around. Sorrow thought he had an interception. It hit the ground, and Parham was a little slow to get up.
Yeah, he was shaken up there as they went up top for the big tight end. That is great coverage, and they continue to go at Drayvon Askew-Henry. They've thrown at Askew-Henry 7 times, have not completed a pass on the former West Virginia standout. So he has been in the crosshairs defensively and answered the bell wonderfully so far for New York.
Parham out of the lineup right now. Nelson going the other way. Jazz Ferguson incomplete.
Kurt, I didn't think they needed to take shots at the end zone. I thought that they could have gotten some more yardage and then taken a shot or maybe even 2 at the end zone. But now you're forced into a situation where Bob Stoops doesn't want to risk letting this entire clock run out on the next snap. So he's going to have to put his field goal kicker on the field and attempt to a field goal to try to tie this thing up going into half. But they had time and the timeout left. They could have worked the middle of it, even with a run play, and gotten that down inside the 15-yard line, closer to the 10. And now you got a better chance to get into the end zone with your subsequent snaps.
I think they actually wasted a lot of time earlier on this drive. When they're in the middle of the field, they weren't really in a hurry-up mode. They let some of that time disappear, and they could use it right now.
But think of all the ways you can stop the clock. You had the timeout in your back pocket. They had everything that they could have done. So offensively, Hal Mumme there has got to realize that he doesn't need to take shots at the end zone right away. He could have worked the middle of the field, then taken a shot, or again 2 at the end zone, because keep in mind, with 6 seconds or even 7 seconds, if you were at the, let's say, 8-yard line, you could take a shot at the end zone because it'd be a quicker play. But right now, they've got to kick a field goal because they're outside the 15.
Austin McGinnis gets his 2nd field goal of the day. And that takes us to halftime. The field goal kickers have all the points so far. Dallas at home trying to get their first win in front of the home folks this season. Both teams at 2-2, all tied at 6. And right now, I think the officials are debating whether or not there's a second left on the clock.
Yeah, I mean, 6 seconds is a lot of time to roll off for one field goal. Normally, they usually say it's about 4 seconds. Dean is telling us from back in LA, 5 is the max. So there has to be a minimum here of 1 second left. And that's big because remember, you don't just get to squib this kick. It has to go and get kicked past the 20-yard line. If it goes into the end zone, it comes out to the 35. If it goes out of bounds, it comes out to the 35. And so you would have a shot at least to take, albeit a low percentage, but a shot at the end zone. But again, that's a big point here. This can't just be squibbed down the field. And if the kicker does make a mistake and kick it short of the 20-yard line
or out of bounds, it goes to 45.
All the way over to the opposite side.
45. That's
an incredible advantage right now for New York to get that 1 second with all the things that can go wrong for Dallas on a kickoff.
So here's the pressure on McGinnis. And it's caught. We'll just take the final second off. Justin Stockton will be wrapped up, and that will officially take us to the halftime break. Yeah, as soon as they break each other up. So 6-6 is the count. New York and Dallas all tied right now going into halftime. Let's go down to Cameron Jordan with Bob Stoops.
All right, head coach Bob Stoops. I mean, you had scored the first drive, scored the last drive. What's going to take for your offense to be a little bit more consistent?
Yeah, we just got to, be a little bit better on some third downs. We've gotten in some long yardage third downs, which isn't what you want. So we just got to play a little better on some of the earlier downs.
No doubt. I mean, I see you got Parham involved late in the game. He seems like a big target. You overthrew him a little bit earlier. What's the game plan for Parham?
Yeah, he's always a target. He's always in the game plan. We just hopefully we could get a big play or two to him.
All right, perfect. And what are you telling you guys when you get in there?
Yeah, even up game. Just got to play a great second half.
Absolutely.
All right,
back to you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Cam. 6-6. The score at halftime, New York and Dallas. Keep in mind, in the XFL, halftime is only 10 minutes. So don't go too far. We'll be back with the second half from Dallas in just a smidge.
Hey, trust the guy next to you. We will come out before you. Hey, nothing like this, man. Dog Linda, dog Linda. Put the head down.
That's the way to pull the ball back from the first half.
That was the Progressive game flow. 6-6 is our score as we get ready to start the second half. The New York Guardians have the ball first to start the half. So what does head coach Kevin Gilbride want to do, Cam Jordan?
I mean, Coach, you have such a good first half. What's it going to take to capitalize on this game?
I think we got to continue to play the way we are defensively. Offensively, we've got some chances. We're had some drops, so that fourth and short, guys just got to turn it north and south. The plays are there. We just got to take advantage of the opportunity.
Absolutely. I'll let you get back to your game. Back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Cam. Well, Kevin Gilbride trying to get his offense going here. Tried to fire up the troops in the locker room at halftime.
Now, hey, you're playing a hell of a game. We wanted to turn it into a battle of wills. You wanted to turn it into mental toughness. You wanted to see who wanted it more. My money is on us. It's on you. Yes, defensively, you're playing your ass off. Offensively, they can't even stop you. All you got to do is make the plays that are there to be made. They're there. Yep. Kicking game, you've won games for us before. Let's go win it now as a team. Let's go.
Gilbride, a former head coach in the National Football League. Most notably, though, offensive coordinator for the New York Giants during their last 2 Super Bowl wins with Eli Manning at his quarterback. Now leading this Guardian team who will start the second half with the ball. Justin Stockton was a busy man at the end of that first half for New York, both running and returning.
And the run game was very good for them in that first half. I expect them to get back to it. They averaged almost 7 yards a carry.
Now the teams can go once 3 seconds go off the clock after the ball hits the ground. There's Stockton pushed out of bounds. And so that's where Luis Perez will take over.
Well, I mentioned that run game, and they have been very good. Stockton averaged 10 yards a carry on his 4 yards rushing. They had 76 yards on the ground as a team, 6.9 per carry. They did hit McKay for that one nice ball down the left sideline, but in order to get the passing game going and get the separation in the back end that they need, I think they need to continue to feature the run game. And here they got both backs in the backfield right now, Tim Cook and Darius Victor.
As they start on first down from the 24. They hand it off to Cook. And nice run of 7 yards by Cook on first down.
And these guys are big, and Dallas was very concerned with how they were going to tackle him, in particular in the second half. Because of their size, 225, 247 Tim Cook is, number 20. And Chris Woods told us that we need to get multiple guys there, because if we're just tackling man-to-man, one-on-one, we're going to get tired by the time the fourth quarter rolls around.
Justin Stockton now in the backfield along with Victor. They play fake it, and it's dropped by McKay.
Boy, that's exactly what Kevin Gilbride just said. There are plays there that we have to make. Now, this ball looks like it might have been just tipped, but barely. He's still got to catch that. The concentration's got to be there. That moves the chains and gives you a new set of downs. And here, now they're in a third down situation. In the first half, they were 2 of 5, 40% on third down.
And that's also the fourth drop ball we've seen by this Guardians team. As Gilbride said, they've had their chances. Here comes the pressure. McKay grabs that one. Once again, using his size and going up and getting it. Taking it all the way to midfield on a 19-yard gain.
Yeah, Dallas wanted a push off there, and they might have a case here to be made. Watch here at the very end, just a bit of a push there where there's grabbing going on both ways as Donatello Brown was in coverage, but McHale comes back and makes the play after an easy drop on the previous snap, and he's able to move the chains. Let's see if they get back to that run game. Two backs in the backfield. They get back to it. I'm almost certain that they will. Nope.
They go to the air. Perez. That one's caught. T.O. Redding right at that first down marker.
Nice little curl combination. Good rhythm for the quarterback.
Too wide. East gas. East gas X. Barber.
East gas. Here we go. East gas. Here we go. Forward out, my 40. Here we go.
After the 10-yard gain.
Ready, hut.
Here's Perez. McHale. Double digits and more. Another big play as they get in a rhythm here to start this second half. Give them 26.
And how about the pressure that was in the face? Check out the pressure on this side, and Perez is going to get absolutely decked. He goes up, gets the high snap, knows he's going to get hit, delivers the ball outside, and McKay finally goes upstairs and gets it. 2 catches in a row now for McKay, and he's able to corral it, turn around, get some more positive yards. Really nice play. Remember now, it starts with a drop from McKay, and they go right back to him 2 times in a row, and he's able to make the play.
Ball's at the 14. We've seen a high snap 5 or 6 times. Handoff, Victor. Darius Victor. Inside the 5. First and goal.
You get a nice double team at the point of attack, and then unfortunately Tigre Scales, he kind of comes inside and gets himself caught up in that double team. Wasn't necessarily on a block, but then misses the tackle right there. Remember, these backs have some good size. Darius Victor, he's only 5'6", 226 pounds, ran right through it.
13-yard gain. High snap again. Perez intended for Redding, and it's broken up incomplete. Donatello Brown on the coverage.
Yeah, Brown still talking to the official about that play a couple of snaps ago where he felt like they pushed off here, and he gets away with a little grab there, but Redding unable to turn around and get that ball completed. We'll see if Gilbride and Mangus go back to the run game. It's been so good. Remember, when they get big, they have gotten them off the ball constantly. They're averaging over 7.4 yards per play running the football.
Marquise Williams comes in at quarterback. The former North Carolina Tar Heel. He runs it on a draw play right into the end zone. His first touchdown of the season, and it comes on a 1-yard run.
That right side of that offensive line did a great job smashing everything down. Check it out. You're going to get here, and then you're going to get a pull, and you're going to get a block from the linebacker, and then it's just going to open up that seam right there for Williams, who dives in for a touchdown. And New York with a heck of a series here to open up the third quarter.
Nice 76-yard drive in less than 5 minutes, just over 4. Williams, part of that goal line package, gives New York the lead again. Going for 2 points from the 5-yard line. Perez back in, a quarterback under center. Nowhere to go. Flags come flying as well. Tony Garrard with the stop. But let's see what the marker's for.
Offense number 74. That finished the line. The try is no good. Timeout.
So they don't get the point after, but that's okay. They'll settle for the touchdown. Good opening drive to this second half. Capped off with the touchdown run from their Wildcat quarterback, if you will, Marquise Williams. The XFL on Fox is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. The touchdown run by Marquise Williams puts the Guardians on top. Cam Jordan, New York's run for almost 100 yards so far in this game.
Hey, I mean, I'm sitting here with Darius Victor, and you can tell, you know, the Guardians have sort of taken over in the run game, and everything that they do, this is sort of a driving force to get into the red zone. Tell me exactly what you guys did this drive to start off fast.
Man, offensive line doing a great job pushing guys off the ball. We're just running with our eyes. We do the easy part. I always say offensive line, the receivers blocking downfield, make our job a lot easier. So we're doing the easy part, and the fun part is running with the football. We're doing this since we're kids. So,
what was said in that locker room for you guys to come out and have this amazing first drive?
We got 30 minutes, man. 0-0. If you want to, go get it. So battle of wills, and our money's on us. So we're just gonna try to come out here and win every down 6 seconds at a time.
Hey, I see you guys out here running as hard as you guys are. You guys won it. You know, good luck to you. Back to you.
All right, thank you, guys. That not only New York's first touchdown of the third quarter all season, it's their first points in the third quarter this year. As Austin Walter tries to give good field position to Dallas and Philip Nelson as they get their first possession here in the second half.
Yeah, this Dallas team has been, during the course of this season, very good in the second half. In fact, their second half point differential is plus 16. That's second best in the XFL. New York was minus 17. That was dead last in the XFL, and they're the ones that came out and really established that run game. We'll see what Nelson, Artis, Payne, and potentially Parham have in store here. And remember, Parham was shaken up late in that first half in the end zone, but he is on the field for Dallas. So good news for the Renegades.
Yeah, you see big number 49 out to the right. Nelson under pressure right away. And winds up running it for a short pickup of a yard, maybe 2.
You know, the pressure has been really tough for Nelson. Watch as Barnes, 93. This is TJ Barnes, and he's just going to come in and he just beats the center right there. And when you're a quarterback and you've got pressure in your face that quickly, it is nearly impossible to establish a rhythm.
Empty backfield. Nelson going out to Jeff Badette. And Badette going to be stopped just short of the first down by Andrew Sorrell. Give him 5.
And this defense, you just saw Jim Herman. They were very good in that first half. And again, I told you earlier in this game, they want to try to change the picture. Give Philip Nelson a picture pre-snap, change it post-snap, make sure that they're disguising their coverage and their blitz looks. Here they're in man coverage.
Dunbar going to throw. He had Jazz Ferguson, and the running back, just not able to take advantage of the trick play.
Boy, I felt like he could have just run the ball. He had all those blockers over there.
Yeah.
And it looked like he did have Jazz Ferguson, but he had to wait so long that it just didn't come to fruition. Bob Stoops trying to pull out a little trick play here early in the third quarter.
So Drew Gallett's on for the punt. New York comes out, scores on the opening possession, and the defense holds the first time they're on the field. Austin Duke backed up. Not much running room. Stopped right at the 20-yard line.
Well, that last drive, Kurt, that was a picture of establish the run, let the quarterback make some plays. Here's the big catch from McHale. Another big catch down the other sideline, and then it was Perez with pressure in his face. He gets it to McHale again. That set him up inside the red zone, and then the run game took back over as Victor goes down there, and then Marquise Williams comes in. Bit of a wildcat formation. Great push by the right side of that offensive line, and bang, they find themselves in the end zone. Love to see them get back to that run game again. It has been dominant so far today.
Yeah, 97 yards on 14 runs so far in this game. Run number 15, and they're over that 100-yard mark. Nice pickup of 7 yards.
Feed them, Mangus. Go. Run it.
6 spread. Gun 6 spread. West Zorro rim. D slant.
Hey, flex, fall back. Hey, Williams.
D slant.
Fall back. West go Ray. West go Ray. Hey, Ray, you're over here, Bob. Here we go. 4 down, my 48. Sit. Ready.
Here comes the blitz. Darius Victor. Good running room for him. And the little big man all the way out to the 47. 20 more on the run.
You see this cross action in the backfield. You get a cross here, and then you get the ball carrier to the left. What that does is that holds the backside linebacker. He can't flow over the top. You get numbers on the front side, and they're getting pushed over there as well. And this run game has just totally taken over the game. Now over 100 yards, 123 on the day.
Yeah, they officially spotted just across the 45-yard line. Still another big pickup on the ground. There you see 123 yards, and most of it really at the end of the second quarter and the beginning of this third quarter.
Yeah, they have worn out that defensive front, and that's exactly what Chris Woods, the coordinator, defensive coordinator for Dallas, was concerned about with the big backs and the big offensive line.
Movement early, they stop the play.
Frank Alexander got a big jump on the defensive side, but Jaron Jones, 74, also backed up the left tackle, so like flip a coin. They're like, no, it was the left tackle. No, it was the defensive end.
And I know which way they're pointing.
Right.
Offense. No.
So they call Jones for that one.
Okay, left tackle. There's Jones right here. You're going to see Alexander. He's down there, so he takes off. It's kind of simultaneous there, right? I guess.
And it wasn't even the guy lined up in front of him, so you can't use that as an excuse.
You can't say that he drew him, you know. So,
yeah. Oops.
That's the way it goes. 6'6", 320 is Jones. Played his college football at Notre Dame. Missed most of his senior season at Notre Dame with a knee injury.
New York in this one little sunny spot here. Perez, a little screen play. Dallas sniffed it out right away. Jake Powell, the tight end, but he had absolutely nowhere to go. Jalen Robinson, the first guy to get there, along with Tini Adewosi.
Yeah, that's a good little play there from the defense, because they know that Jake Powell wants to be a focal point of the offense. Number 87, they have not gotten him the ball yet on a reception, so they're trying to sneak a little tight end screen, but they sniff it out perfectly. Good recognition there by the defense.
Loss of a yard, 2nd and 16. Here comes the pressure. Perez. Redding slips a tackle. Josh Hawkins finally corrals him, but another big pickup, this time 13 yards.
Yeah, and again, it's kind of these dropout routes. You know, they're playing soft coverage out here. Watch as Hawkins is playing soft coverage, and then he just drops out, and he's able to come back. Perez throws the ball on time. That's the key, even with pressure in his face, and they're able to get a nice completion out there as Redding finds himself down the left sideline. Boy, doesn't it seem like every series Perez and this offense get more and more confidence? I saw it on film preparing for this game, and then clearly throughout the day here today.
And more in rhythm as Perez goes up. McHale winds up handing it right to the defender, Josh Hawkins. McHale tried to one-hand it. There's a fight going on in the middle of the field, and a couple of players without helmets on right now as well. Well, the officiating crew trying to get this under control. Well, this one going all wrong for New York all of a sudden. And there's Jaron Jones right in the middle of it all. But you saw McHale tried to one-hand that ball, and instead of pulling it in, wound up tipping it right to Hawkins, who gets the first turnover of the day.
Well, let's see how this actually kind of started. So then you got the whole blocking going on, and then a helmet gets ripped off. Oh, boy. That's not, oh, yeah.
He's actually going at it with Avery Young, was Frank Alexander.
Give me on.
You can tell that was bubbling for a while in there, and some jawing going on, and then bubbled over after that interception.
And that's a key point. All of this is after the turnover. So it'll still be Dallas's
74.
ball.
I got another one. The guy, Milky, he started all this. That's what started all this. He cleared somebody out. So that's 69 for the offense. They're all going to be done. Is anybody gone is all I wanted to know. Okay. So give me 74, 69 offense. You're going to stand here for me. 74, 69, and 99. But I need 69 numbers too. We're going to offset the play, right? Because it's going to be all over there. Got it.
You can hear a lot to sort out, and a lot of players going to get penalized here.
74 offense, 99 defense, okay? 99 and 74. Okay.
'69 is the center, Ian Silverman. 74, Jaron Jones.
There are multiple fouls, both on each team. Personal foul, number 69, offense. Personal foul, offense, number 74. He is disqualified.
Jaron Jones
foul,
ejected.
Number 99, defense. He is disqualified. Those penalties all set. First down.
So the left tackle, Jaron Jones, ejected, and Gerald Rivers, the linebacker for Dallas, thrown out. Most likely for throwing punches down in that scrum. We'll take another look at it during the break. All this after the interception by Josh Hawkins gives the ball back to Dallas.
We don't have anybody up front. You play in every package. You have to be smart.
Daryl Johnston, the head of player personnel for Dallas, trying to explain to Frank Alexander that he really started this whole thing. You see number 57, Alexander. He goes at it with Ian Silverman, who pulls his helmet off, and that really got it going. He throws the punch, and then watch behind.
That's where Jaron Jones, 74, he came in, he decked him, and then 99, Gerald Rivers. So that's why you've got Jones and Rivers ejected. But Alexander, I felt like dodged a bullet there.
Yeah.
Because he did throw a punch. And
which should be automatic ejection.
That's right. And Cam Jordan, I mean, you've been in emotional scenes and games. You got to be smarter than that after the whistle.
Absolutely. I mean, but, you know, things that happen in the heat of moment, heat of battle, it can get a little crazy. It's just the after effects. It's the hey, coming across the field and pushing it back. It's the after effects of, hey, I'm going to need to come all the way over and get in there. At the end of the day, you know, whatever happens immediately, it happens. You got to let that wash away. Things that happen later, unforgivable.
And all this was after the interception gave Dallas the football back as We see Philip Nelson throw incomplete here on the first down, and both these teams now need to just find a way, take a deep breath, and settle down.
Well, and I mean, from the New York side, no, they're not on offense right now, but remember, you had John Kling, the right tackle, go down with an injury, and he has not returned, and now the left tackle, Jaron Jones, is down, and this is not, you know, a super deep offensive line, so New York certainly hurt by these ejections, and we'll see how that affects the way that they go forward offensively here in the coming series.
Yeah, they've been leaning on the run game so heavily here as Dallas runs the ball. Cameron Artis-Payne will bring up third down.
I think this Dallas offense, they've got to lean on the fact that they can run the football and make life easier on Philip Nelson. If you take the first game that he started and now this game and even some of last week, he has yet to be the quarterback on a series for Dallas where they've scored a touchdown. So you've got to find something. You can't just continue to do the same things and think that you're going to get a different result.
Nelson thrown high, and Nagel with the catch, and he'll move the chains. Cal Mummy.
Give me open 6-8 shallow again.
Richard, here, hold.
Dallas seeming a bit more methodical here on this drive. Here's Nelson out to Flynn Nagel again. Nagel slips a tackle. Gain of 6.
Hey, Tiger Roger.
Well, the good news is Dallas hasn't turned the ball over today. Bad news is they haven't scored a touchdown yet either. Nelson going for Ferguson. No flags. He got a little push off to get a step, and Nelson still couldn't connect with it.
He had the step, like you said, Kurt, and that ball just a little too far in front of him. They had beaten Jamar Summers, and Ferguson came up a little gimpy there after that play.
Well, he
going
missed
down
some
to the
time
turf.
earlier this season with a hand injury. Right now, out shaking his hand on the sideline. Looks to be in pain. Nelson on third down. Flynn Nagel covered like a blanket by Drayvon Askew-Henry, and there is a flag.
I think that they may get a little hands to the face here on their tackle, Willie Beavers.
So they could likely decline it or make it third and long, right? Okay. Robin, coach has a choice. Hands to the face. Make it 4th and 3 or 3rd and 14.
What would you do?
I would say 3rd and 14.
Jim, you wanted me to move him back? 4th and 3, yeah.
Make a decision. 4th and 4?
All right, good. We'll take the kick. Kick penalty? No. Decline it. Yeah.
Personal foul, hands to the face, offense number 70. That penalty's declined. Results of the play is a 4th down.
That was on Beavers, but you could hear Kevin Gilbride ask his defensive coordinator, what do you want to do?
Yeah, he goes up to Jim Herman and he says, what do you want to do? Herman feels good about that short yardage kind of package they have. And remember, he's got those big defensive tackles, so he feels good about defending the run. Feels like they're not going to give up a cheap first down. And on this side of the 50, felt like Bob Stoops would probably put his punt team out there, which he did. So he declines the penalty.
Here's Gallitz on the punt. Austin Duke back deep. Makes it at the 20 and brought down right away. Good open field tackle by Sean Price. Well, coming up next, the heavyweights are back on Fox. Adam Babyface Kopnatski puts his undefeated record on the line against the Nordic Nightmare, Robert Helenies. The Battle of Brooklyn begins next on Fox and always on the Fox Sports app. Luis Perez trying to get the knockout punch here.
Oh, I was just going to say, we just had a little undercard on that last series, you know, up there. This New York team, they have not been good on the road, and yet Dallas has not been good at home. So somebody's going to get their first win in that environment. Dallas looking for their first win at home of the entire season.
And for New York, Derek Dennis comes in to play left tackle after the ejection of Jaron Jones. Perez. Colby Pearson breaks the tackle, and there he goes. Bye-bye. Touchdown, Guardians. 80 yards.
Micah Abernathy, number 21, the safety, had the angle, and he went in for a big hit and didn't wrap up. Pearson stayed on his feet. Watch as Abernathy, he's going to come over from this side as a safety. He's got the angle right there. He sees the eyes. He's headed over, and he can make the play. It's going to be a big play, but he can make the play and get him down to the ground. He slips the tackle, and Pearson goes the distance for a touchdown. What a huge play for New York, who told us they wanted desperately to get more explosive in their offense, and they found it with Pearson breaking a tackle down the field.
This Guardians team had scored 2 touchdowns total the last 3 weeks. They've got 2 here in this third quarter, and there's still 3:17 left to go.
It was the last 38 possessions coming into this game. In the last 38 offensive possessions, they had scored 2 touchdowns. And here we go on back-to-back series. They find the end zone on the road.
Here's Perez looking for the 2-point conversion. They get it. Justin Stockton adds to it. And the New York Guardians are up by 2 scores over Dallas on the road. Kevin Gilbride's team looking for their 2nd straight win.
Tell you what a great route. Watches this route, goes to the flat, and then he comes back in. It's a little Texas route from the back. Goes to the flat, boom, sticks his right foot in the ground, and he heads back in. But did you see how he didn't sprint through the middle of the field? He understood that he needed to just slide through the zone, settle down, and Perez gave him the ball.
And what a difference 2 weeks can make. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, this Guardians team was struggling.
Yeah.
But right now, they are on a roll, Cam Jordan.
Absolutely. I mean, Luis, you guys started off strong, you know, had the first score coming in. Tell me how you've gotten comfortable in this offense and the play that you just made.
Yeah, Coach made a great call. We were running curl flats all day. They're in single high, and we gave them a double move, and they bit on it, and Coach made a great play.
Hey, as we all know, if that ground game opens up, you know that pass game's happening. So just tell me about the fluidity that's happening between you and your receivers right now.
Yeah, as a quarterback, it's just so helpful to have a running game because now, you know, the defense doesn't know what we're going to do, and, you know, when they come on single high, they're forcing us to throw the ball, and our receivers doing a great job getting open.
Absolutely, Chuck. Back to you.
Appreciate it.
That 80-yard touchdown, the longest play for the Guardians all season long. And it extends the lead as Austin Walter gets it out to the 35-yard line. And now Philip Nelson and this Dallas Renegades team has to find a way to answer.
Yeah, they sure do. And on the flip side, you know, how about the courage from G.A. Mangus down his 2 starting tackles to call a double move on the outside, and he thinks to himself, you know what, we can protect, we can get the ball down the field. He told us he wanted to double move this defense, and he was able to do that. That is a gutsy play call for a guy that was down his 2 starting tackles.
So now a lot of weight on the shoulders of Nelson, who's starting at quarterback this week because of the injury to Landry Jones. And good to see Donald Parham back in the game. He left with an injury in the first half, but that's just his 2nd reception.
Well, this is quite the hole for Dallas, in particular with Philip Nelson. And like I said, that's not the greatest statistic, but with him at quarterback, they've yet to get the ball into the end zone, and they've got to try to find something in their offense to unlock this Jim Herman defense.
Ball batted in the air and intercepted. That certainly won't help. Ryan Mueller, he takes it in for the score. And suddenly New York is pouring it on.
How about the athletic play from Mueller? Just an outstanding job of getting his hands up, batting it down in the concentration to take it the distance. Unbelievable. Mueller played at Kansas State. This guy has found himself in some NFL camps, and they tried to move him to fullback, and you can see why. He's got the hands, and then he rumbles with a little stiff arm to the quarterback, Nelson, and then he runs away and into the end zone. Cam Jordan, a defensive score. What do you know?
Absolutely. I mean, you see what you do. Hey, when great things happen on defense, it rains and it pours, baby. You got to love the way that they're playing right now. That defense is really showing up through this entire game, and a big play like that is going to mean tons for the rest of this game.
Cam, be honest. What would you rather have, a sack or a touchdown?
Sack. Into a touchdown. Sack, force, touchdown. Trifecta.
Which one pays you more? That's the question, right?
That's right.
33 yards on the pick six. And here's Perez as they go for one. Off the play fake from McKay. Puts those big hands out there and adds one more to it. 27-6. New York in control.
And this is the team that was supposed to be a poor second half team. They had not scored a point in the third quarter all season long, and they have just poured it on the Dallas Renegades. This is a beautiful route. Watch right here. He's going back to the fade. Perez recognized it early that he was not going to be able to get over the top on Hawkins, so he gives it to the back shoulder as Mueller gets a little tape on that ankle.
Well, now he thinks he's a speed guy.
That's right.
You know, he wants his ankles taped.
Spat my shoes up. Guys, I just ran for a touchdown. Spat my shoes up.
It doesn't take much.
That's so good.
And everybody comes over to celebrate with him. Why not?
That's right.
I mean, this team has been through so much. We saw earlier in the season the quarterback, Matt McGloin, was starting, and the controversy he had about the offense. And really, this team struggling. They came in as the lowest scoring team in all the XFL, averaging just 12 points a game. And right now, they've got 27, having settled down with the change, Luis Perez, over the last couple of weeks. And here's Austin Walter. That may be the answer that Dallas is looking for. Takes the kickoff return all the way back for the touchdown. 92 yards.
This is a great little scheme from Dallas. Watch right here. You're going to get a block cross this way and cross this way. That opens up the lane. See those two guys cross? Now they get the lane opened up, and then it's speed. Down the sideline as Walter takes it the distance, but just that little change. Rather than everyone just going up and blocking the man in front of them, it's a little bit of a cross action with the return team, and they're able to open up a lane, and Walter hits it for a touchdown.
Dallas going for 3. Nelson tripped up in the backfield, and that'll be over. But only the second kickoff return for touchdown this season in the XFL. Cam Jordan standing by with the guy who did it, Austin Walter.
I mean, New York had just made a quick strike on defense. You come around and you answer. Tell me how you did that.
I just know we needed a spark. My coach just kept saying, it's there, it's there. And I just saw it, just hit it. My teammates blocked it up. I had to do my part, and I did it.
A couple weeks back, I saw the first return happen, and now you're talking about you're the second return touchdown. I mean, how's it feel?
It feels good. All glory to God. Couldn't have done it without him and my teammates. I'm just doing my part, but without the other people, it wouldn't have happened.
Absolutely. Kurt?
All right, thanks a lot, Cam. You know, the Dallas people were saying we need to get the ball in the hands of Austin Walter more, and that was kind of the game plan today. I don't know if kick return was what they had in mind. It doesn't matter. It paid off.
Well, trust me when I tell you, there's a lot of people happy about that, right? Not just Dallas fans that got back in, not just New York fans. Are seeing some rhythm. We just hit the over, folks. Okay. I'm just saying, a 6-6 game at halftime, it didn't look good for the overs, and bang, bang. And all of a sudden, we've got a third quarter over with two teams that have not hit the over all year long.
By rule, the ball hit in the field of play. The ball be placed at the 15-yard line. First down.
So, folks, this is called a minor touchback. There are major touchbacks and minor touchbacks. So if you let the ball hit in the field of play and then it goes into the end zone, then you have to take the ball at the 15. So, again, everything in this rule in the kickoff is designed for a return, to keep the return in the game like we just saw for a touchdown. Keep that exciting action in there while removing the long run collision that is inherent in the sport as we have grown up with it.
As you said, this game was 6-6 at halftime. Now it's just explosive play after explosive play and weird kickoffs and all kinds of stuff going on. We'll see how Perez and company answer that kickoff return starting at the 15-yard line. Handed off to Darius Victor. Falls forward for a couple.
Well, let's see what they're doing up on the offensive line here, okay? So 71, Brant Weiss is over at right tackle. Looks like Derek Dennis, number 63, has gone in at left tackle. And you've still got Silberman in there at center, and 77, Damian Mama and Anthony Coyle. So they're basically down to one reserve offensive lineman. Avery Young is the 6th offensive lineman right now, and he's the only one they got left.
Here's Darius Victor trying to change direction, but he's caught in the backfield. Dropped at the line of scrimmage.
Go. Let's go 3 wides. 3 wides. Let's go gun. 62 double chip Z sail. Gun trips right. 62 double chip Z sail.
Dallas looking for a big defensive stop here.
Here's the Z, called the sail route for the Z.
Perez. Incomplete, flags come flying. Austin Duke, the intended receiver. Deshaun Phillips there on the coverage. That is Deshaun Phillips, number 41.
Interference, defense, number 41. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
And that's a big call.
Yeah, it sure is. And here's Phillips, who's in a trail position. And as he's trying to gain the advantage here, looks like he pulls that arm back a little bit, and then there's some contact, but I don't know if he was hindering his ability to get to the football, Austin Duke, and they've certainly let him play through more contact than that prior in this game. Not a consistent call, at the least.
In the direction of Darius Victor, so it'll be incomplete. But that was a big call because instead of punting and Dallas having really good field position, it resets the downs and gives New York a chance to at least get more yards, if not points.
You hit it on the field position thing, and Bob Stoops absolutely knows all about that. And this defense, you know, they have faced a lot of snaps, and again, that run game has been very good. I'm surprised New York hasn't gotten back to the run game. I know they're down now both their offensive tackles, but I think that you'd still have to try it. But it looks like they're content to sit in this kind of 3-receiver set.
Darius Victor trying to spin, absolutely nowhere to go. Going to lose a couple of yards. Let's see what G.A. Mangus can dial up now. As we get down to the end of this third quarter, Dallas trying to get at least one more defensive stop right here to give their offense the ball back and get this game a little bit closer. It was 6-6 at halftime. We go into the final period. New York feeling good, up 27-12, but there's still another quarter left to go. 27 combined points in that third quarter. 21 of them coming in 52 seconds. So a lot of explosive plays. And you can see right now, this is unlike the Guardians' offense has been all season long. They did get a defensive touchdown, but right now they are in control and trying to hold on to it. Up 27-12 as we start this fourth quarter. Kurt Menefee, Joel Klatt, and along the sideline, the Saints' Cameron Jordan with us.
This is a big third down here for Dallas. Remember, they got that kick return, so they got a little momentum. They need to get that ball back for their offense right here.
Perez going up and making the catch. Along the sideline is Colby Pearson. And it's going to be a stop by this Dallas defense. New York got a punt here on fourth down after the 10-yard pickup. wasn't enough.
Yeah, great pursuit there. You saw 3 Dallas Renegades in position to make that tackle, and they are able to force that punt.
All right, Flynn Nagel back deep to take the punt for Dallas, who has a chance to just get a little bit closer. Philip Nelson in at quarterback this week. Landry Jones expected to miss about 2 weeks, they hope only 2 weeks, after re-injuring his knee last week, the MCL, on a quarterback sneak. Here's Justin Vogel. That punt just got off. Flynn Nagel bobbles it, and he lost the football. New York has recovered. Now let's see if he was down by contact. That is the question. DeJuan Hines has the football.
Well, first of all, Dallas came so close to getting that block. Jazz Ferguson was in the backfield and almost got to it.
First down, New York.
And then at the end of it,
they did call it a fumble.
Out, yes, and that's a correct call. The contact being made.
Do you see who knocked it out? That was Marquise Williams, the backup quarterback on special teams. He's also their up back on punts. Knocked the ball out. DeJuan Hines recovered, and Nagel costing his team a possession.
It's such a smart strategy because with Williams in there as the up back, then you've got a fake at your disposal at all times because he can throw the football, he can orchestrate the punt team, and then he gets down there and makes a terrific play and knocks the ball loose after scoring a touchdown earlier, and Nagel with the huge mistake. Remember, it's been Dallas's Achilles heel. The fact
the field is confirmed. First down, New York.
The fact that they cannot hold on to the football. 5 turnovers last week in a 27-21 loss to Houston, the undefeated Houston Roughnecks. And Bob Stoops told us, he said, we have got to hold on to the football and stop making small mistakes like that. And Nagel coughs it up on the special teams play.
Perez trying to make him pay. Here's Tim Cook. You know, we've seen a high snap several times. Now, is this intentional at times?
No. That's
is that bad that often?
What?
I mean, it's been.
I'll give Ian Silverman this.
20 times.
Listen, he's consistent, right? Okay. So you know, if you snap it high every single time, then it's on me to get it as the quarterback. But it definitely has been high. They have gone back, I will say, to E.J. Bibbs, the H-back tight end, in that fullback position, which generally means that downhill inside the tackle run game.
And they hand it off to Cook, and they do just that.
I would stay right there. They haven't stopped that all game long.
0. 34 Mike, alert West Uncle.
Come here, hey, come here. Okay.
Adewusi is still down. Tini Adewusi, the safety. He gets up. Good to see him limp off. Here's Perez. And you're right. Why not keep running the ball?
Yeah.
I mean, they've got 137 yards rushing right now. They're season high.
And they've been dominant, Kurt. You know, and this is when, you know, we always talk about football being a game of wills and trying to impress your will upon your opponent or break their will. Well, this is will crushing for Chris Wood's defense, is when you just line up, they know you're going to run it, you know you're going to run it, and you can still do it successfully.
Why not keep going to it? Tim Cook. Second effort. Asante Brown with the stop, but only after Cook got 2 yards on the run.
And there were no safeties back. You talk about trying to commit. Chris Woods is putting the kitchen sink at the line of scrimmage, knowing that the Guardians have been so successful up front. This is the time now to play action. Get back into that set. There's no safeties back in the middle of the field. It's hard play action time. Sneak the tight end past the linebacker. Try to get that ball right down the seam.
And there you see it again. No one back deep. They throw it out. Colby Pearson. And right in front of Donatello Brown, but not much afterwards, if any.
And with Brown back in that soft coverage, what can he do? Sit there with his eyes on the quarterback, and he saw that short pass coming a mile away. Storms that cushion, and he gets up there right at the catch point and forces nearly a negative play here. And now another third down. This is a critical Dallas down here. They have got to force a field goal attempt. If they can hold them to a field goal, it would be only, what is that, 18 points, which two scores, two-possession game here in the XFL.
High snap again. Perez over the middle. Caught by the tight end, Jake Powell, and it's good enough for the first down.
What a nice route. Watch Powell. He's just going to sneak over the middle. He gets inside leverage, and Perez on time throws that ball away from the defender. Powell is not screaming across the middle. He's just kind of floating across, gaining position and the space needed to move the chains. Perez finds him and delivers a beautiful ball. Anytime you young quarterbacks out there are throwing the ball over the middle in the short zones, you've got to put the ball on the frame of the wide receiver. He frames him up, and it's a first down.
They get the snap off. Draw play, Cook. And he's going to be dropped for a loss. Tigre Scales.
Check this out. Kurt, look at the safety back here, right? And at the snap of the football, he just flies downhill. I mean, they are committing all of their resources to stopping the run game, knowing that G.A. Mangus has that ability to just call the run plays, and that offensive line has been winning on the line of scrimmage.
Hey, 49, my 48, here we go. Ready?
Bibbs, the tight end, back at a fullback position, if you will, is Darius Victor. He's going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage. Greer Martini and Asante Brown with the tackle, and here's that big third down again.
Yeah, and on these third downs, they have looked for their one-on-one opportunities on the outside, and they've won a lot of them. Mikel McKay, number 1. Redding, number 9. They're the guys on the outside. We'll see if they try to get them in a one-on-one situation here.
62, 62, let's go. Let's go. Hey, 4 down. My 38, here we go.
See the play clock winding down. Caught Colby Pearson, but obviously way short as Asante Brown makes the stop, and here on fourth down, New York will have to settle for the field goal attempt.
I mean, still a great possession, because if they can execute and convert here with a field goal, even though it's still a two-possession game, you're forcing Bob Stoops' team to get 2 touchdowns and 2 3-point conversions, which the percentages would say are very low.
Okay, all right. I mean, that guy was scared to death in the KO. Okay, all right. You know what I mean?
You can hear G.A. Mangus telling him he should have thrown it.
Well, yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking he wanted to do. That's what Mangus wanted. McHale's sitting there like, hey, man, give me a shot.
Matthew McCrane from 26 yards out extends the lead to 18. But again, in the XFL, that's 2 scores and 2 conversions.
Either got J-Lo or Playboy or Raider. Stack, stack. Ah! Final foul! Final foul! Yeah! Go, Mule! Go, Mule!
Well, this second half has belonged to the Guardians. They've outscored Dallas 24-6 to turn what was a 6-6 tie into an 18-point lead. Austin Walter, last time he touched it, took it back 92 yards for a score. A little shorter this time. It's a New York kind of night here on Fox. The Guardians have the lead now, and when we're done, Brian Kenny with PBC Boxing from Brooklyn.
Brian Kenny here in Brooklyn. We are live at the Barclays Center, and we are getting ready for 3 unbeaten heavyweight contenders. Adam Kovnatsky, one of the top 10 heavyweights in the world, taking on Robert Helenius. We'll see you right after the game. Kurt?
All right, Brian, look forward to that one. We'll see if Dallas can get back in this one before it's over. Nelson over the middle. Josh Crockett bobbles it and is knocked out by Henry, incomplete.
Just haven't seen the consistency from Dallas offensively. Too many drops, too much pressure in Nelson's face for the most part of this. This one's thrown a little behind him. Still got to secure that ball. We've seen Nelson miss a couple of throws that he probably should have made, in particular down the field. He had Badette one time, but it's just been a kind of a series of errors, and the lone touchdown that they have gotten has been on special teams with that kick return from Austin Walter.
Nelson. And just not even close to Badette on that one.
Boy, they did not expect this from Dallas. They were high on Nelson coming into this game, and they thought he had a great week of practice. He had a lot of reps in camp when Landry had that injury, and it has just not gone their way. And the second half has been no rhythm or success offensively for the Renegades.
Well, no, New York has been in rhythm throughout. That one's caught. Flynn Nagel. Nagel will move the chains for Dallas.
Yeah, a nice adjustment by Nagel there as that ball was thrown really early, and Nagel, as he turned around, located the football and then ultimately corralled it for a first down. They got to go very fast.
Gain of 16 as we reach the midway point of this fourth quarter. Here comes the pressure on Nelson, and he's caught in the backfield. Nowhere to go. Savon Walker gets it.
92 sale again.
Second sack of this game for Walker, who came in as the league leader with 2.5, now 4.5 on the year. Underneath, Josh Crockett. Spinning his way out to the 47-yard line.
Now, Kurt, I think it's imperative from an offensive standpoint. When you're down 2 possessions and you're getting down there in the back half of the fourth quarter, you've got to set markers for yourself. In a 2-possession game, you got to think to yourself, okay, we got to score by somewhere in the 4.5 range, maybe the 4-minute mark, to really give ourselves a good chance with the way that the Guardians are running the football.
Well, Nelson with a good run, diving forward, and with the forward progress, he will get the first down.
We've seen that a couple of times. Nelson's able to move the chains with his feet, something that they don't have with Landry Jones. And we've got
Andrew Sorrow still down.
Yeah, Sorrow, number 30 for New York.
Safety. It's in camp with the Kansas City Chiefs last year. Out of Florida Atlantic.
He was a linebacker for FAU.
Was one of those do-everything guys. Linebackers, safety, even played some defensive end.
Dual-threat quarterback Jordan Ta'amu leads the high-flying Battlehawks offense into D.C. for a matchup with Cardell Jones and the Defenders. It's a showdown between the 2 top teams in the East, the XFL. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern on FS1.
Man, that should be a good one. There's Andrew Sorrow, had to be helped over to the sideline, drinking some Gatorade, so hopefully it was just cramps. Wes Sutton comes in to replace him as Dallas tries to get something going here with 6:07 left, down by 2 scores. Looking for their first home win of the season. New York trying to win their first game on the road.
I don't know what the stoppage is.
Yeah, after all that time.
Someone take a timeout? I don't quite understand that. But, you know, one of the things that I have been surprised throughout the league, Kurt, that the double forward pass has not really been exploited yet.
After further review, the runner was stopped short of the line of the game by a half-yard line. The ball will be placed at the 47.5. 4th down and a half yard to go. The clock will start on my signal.
So unbeknownst to us, they stopped it to have a replay review.
I mean, they had a 3.5-minute break
during the injury
to do that.
Yeah.
Really weird today from our replay booth. Not the strongest we've seen, but we charge on.
And they back it up, so it'll be 4th and 1 officially. All right, obviously a big play in this game. Nelson, Parham, first down.
All right, so now you've got the first down.
Yes.
Well, what I was saying about that double forward pass, you know, when you're in a two-possession game like this, and you're going to need a quick score at some point. I got to think that at some point Dallas is going to try something, a little bit of a razzle-dazzle, if you will, to try to catch this New York defense off guard.
Which has been aggressive all day, New York has. That ball batted in the air and picked off again. Another defensive lineman with an interception. This time is Toby Johnson. Demetrius Cox was the defender who knocked the ball in the air, and we talked about how aggressive this New York defense has been. It pays off once again with a turnover.
Yeah, I don't really know what Nelson is looking at, because he's going to have a defender right in the zone area, and he tries to force the ball to Parham, but Parham even is not expecting the ball because he's covered. If anything, that ball needs to go behind Parham where the zone is opened up, but Nelson panics just a hair and then throws the ball leading Parham into the defender. That's just poor recognition from the quarterback, and New York again makes a big play. They have done a heck of a job. Big credit to Jim Herman, the defensive coordinator, who have put together a really good, solid game plan, confusing Philip Nelson during the course of the night.
All right, Toby Johnson listed at a generous, I think, 340 pounds. Second interception we've seen by this defensive line for New York. Cameron Jordan standing by with Toby.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you talk about, you know, tips equal picks, the guy Cox made a big play. You're able to get under it, and then you try to show the wheels, huh? What happened in that play?
I mean, Cox did a good job of deflecting the ball. I was chasing the ball, running to the ball, just doing what D linemen do. Came up with a pick.
Show them wheels off, huh?
A little bit, did a little something. I had to protect my legs, though.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about, you know, exactly what you do for the team. I mean, that's a huge momentous play right there. How do you feel about it?
I feel good, man. We just got to finish. There's still a lot of time on the clock. We just got to finish. You know, just do our job. Keep doing our job.
Absolutely. Hey, best of luck, Kurt.
Hey, thanks a lot. There's Justin Stockton with the big run. Flags are out on the play, but you can see I think these players are having as much fun talking to the Saints' Cameron Jordan as we are listening.
You know, for the record, Cam, I know you got sacks, you got numbers, but you also have 2 picks in your career.
And 1 for a touchdown.
That's right.
You had more picks in your career. You had picks in your career.
Oh, yeah. Hey, look, when you talk about I've had picks in my career, you got to convert those into touchdowns. I mean, you saw a little bit of space, you got to hit that high knee and start rolling.
10-yard penalty. Second down.
That penalty going to be holding on Colby Pearson, so it will come back. Now, this New York team having fun right now. And again, why not? I mean, when you're up like this, on the road, ready for your second straight win, and this will put them over 500 for the season as we get into the second half of the year.
They won their opening game at home. They were clearly on a high, but then they had 2 weeks of a lot of turmoil and controversy. And Luis started last week and calmed that down at the quarterback position. It was a methodical win against Los Angeles, and they have just come out here and played a really solid game. They've run the football well. Their defense played well. They created turnovers. You know, outside of the kick return given up for a touchdown, I felt like they played well on special teams, in particular their kick game, converting their opportunities to score points. So Kevin Gilbride's got to be absolutely ecstatic about the way that his team has come out of those 2 weeks of controversy. They were 1-2. They get the win last week, and now here they are on the road, staring down the barrel of their first road win of the season.
Yeah, I mean, they're just putting up numbers. We talk about the 2 interceptions, 1 return for a touchdown. Their offense has 372 yards. The most they'd had in a game before today was 277, so almost 100 yards more, as Darius Victor won't add to that total right now. But this has been a good performance with the exception of that return on special teams.
I think more importantly than that 372, that's great, you know, but I think Kevin Gilbride is going to be more enthused with the 143 yards, over 5 per carry on the ground.
And from different running backs.
That's right. Stockton emerged today. He had Victor with a couple of nice runs. Cook had a couple of nice runs. This is their road ahead. The Guardians, they're going to have what is now looking like a bit of a showdown, Kurt, with Houston. A couple of teams playing really well, clearly undefeated. Seattle, who's playing better with their new quarterback, B.J. Daniels. St. Louis, who's been fantastic. And then April 4th, they're going to have the D.C. Defenders.
And how interesting is this East Division now? Because St. Louis is at 3-1 on top right now.
Yep.
D.C. is at 2-2, technically in second place.
Yes.
Barring a miracle right now, New York's going to be 3-2, so they could jump D.C. if St. Louis wins tomorrow and the top two teams make the playoffs.
That's right. So New York, a couple of short weeks, and all of a sudden they could find themselves in that second position in the East.
And should D.C. win, there will be a three-way tie for first place. Of course, D.C. will host the Battlehawks tomorrow on FS1 in what is now an even bigger game in the East.
I think that's going to be a tough out because St. Louis is such a good team. We saw St. Louis last week. Jordan Ta'amu was phenomenal. He had 327 total yards in that win over Seattle. He leads the league in completion percentage. They have the #2 scoring offense and the #1 scoring defense. They're great on third down on both offense and defense. St. Louis, and we commented on this last week, they're just really good all around.
Yeah,
all
very
phases.
solid.
Similar to what we saw from New York today.
This has been by far New York's best performance of the season. Austin Walter. And the clock becomes the enemy for Dallas right now as well.
And, they're still in a two-possession game, and with the clock rules, I mean, this is not absolutely over, but they've got to go quick. And again, something like a double forward pass, something to ignite this offense, get the ball down the field as quickly as they can.
Nelson out to Nagel. Right near that first down marker, but he gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
Look at these.
They reset it once the ball is put down.
These defensive backs are playing smart, soft coverage. Nothing deeper than them. Everybody retreating.
Quick pass. Josh Crockett can't stay on his feet. Falls forward 6 yards.
And forcing them to throw the football underneath. Then they rally up, make the tackle. I'll tell you, Jim Herman's done a heck of a job, hasn't he? Defensive coordinator for this club.
Really has. And it just shows you. As Parham has that one knocked out as soon as he caught it, so it'll fall incomplete. Big hit by Wes Sutton. Remember, he's in the game because of the injury to Andrew Sorrell. But as I was saying, you get a couple of weeks into the season, and the way New York was playing, a lot of people thought that they might be the team in the most disarray in the entire league. They scored a total of 9 points in back-to-back games, weeks 2 and 3. They made a change at quarterback, brought in Luis Perez, won a close one last week against Los Angeles, and really dominated here in the second half at Dallas. And all of a sudden, everything's all settled down, and instead of being a team in disarray, New York's a team in firm control, at least in this one, with 2 minutes left to go.
Follow, download, subscribe.
Well, it's been a Guardians kind of second half in particular. 6-6 game at intermission. They're 2 minutes away from winning us up 30-12 right now, trying to stop Dallas from getting any more points. On 4th and 1, they pick up the first down on the short little run. And right now, we talked about New York and how important this game is in the East. Dallas is not out of it in the West yet.
No.
I mean, Houston seems to be running away. They're the only undefeated team, but everybody else in the West is all bunched up, and they expect to have Landry Jones back in a couple of weeks.
That's right. Seattle was 1-3 going into the week. They lost earlier today. They're 1-4.
Timeout for an injury player. For Dallas, this will be a charge timeout.
It's Alex Balducci.
Which is their second and final 30 seconds.
LA plays tomorrow against Tampa. LA is 1-3. So even with potentially a loss here, Dallas could still be in second place in that West Division even after today's ball game.
Or at worst tied with Los Angeles, should LA get the win. Well, we've enjoyed having Cam Jordan with us. Cam, has this been fun for you?
I mean, to be on the sidelines for this first, for my first game announcing, you talk about I've seen a kickoff return, I've seen a quarterback create a fumble. It made me reminisce of Taysom Hill over the Saints being able to, do more than just be a quarterback. Everything that they're doing has been awesome.
And you've also seen a couple of interceptions by this Guardian team. A defensive end get a touchdown.
And defensive lineman, Cam. I mean, you came to the right game.
Absolutely. You talk about tips equal picks. You saw a DB tip one up and a big fella scoop it. There's nothing that makes my defensive line heart happier than seeing that. I just wish he had a little bit more wheels to him to take it on home. But that's what we call great hand-eye coordination.
Maybe you inspired them. Maybe that was it.
I'm going to take all of that. I mean, we're sitting here at this game, and it's been exciting to watch the last couple quarters.
Well, it's been exciting for us. We appreciate you doing this with us this week.
Hey, thanks for having me on again.
All right, out of the backfield, Austin Walter. Walter's had a nice game on both special teams and at running back.
He sure has. And again, I mean, it's 2 possessions. It's not over. They need a quick score. Then they can declare that they want to go for an onside kick. Then they can do that. There's still an onside kick that you can have in this game, but they've got to get the ball down the field. New York is making it very difficult with those deep players.
They picked up 23 on the last play, and once again, that was almost a defensive lineman with a pick. Joey Mbu. Philip Nelson threw it right to him.
Right to him. And trust me, he's going to hear about that from his buddies who did get picks in this game. Got a minute 33 left. Got to think about trying to score with, about a minute. So you're thinking to yourself, all right, we got 30, 35 seconds here to get this ball pushed down the field.
They're still looking for the offensive touchdown. The one score they got today was on a kick return.
Yeah, and I know that they have to throw the ball right now, but moving forward, this Dallas team has got to commit to the run game more. We didn't see it tonight. Their 2, I think, most experienced and best offensive players are Cameron Artis-Payne and Lance Dunbar, and they've got to be featured in the run game a little bit more to help their quarterbacks out. Nelson just threw his 47th pass attempt. This is his 48th of the night.
Yeah, not many leagues you're going to win throwing 48 passes, and he connects with Flint and Nagel on that one.
In particular, when you're not even the starter. Landry's the starter. Again, they got to move here. This is 2 possession territory. You got to move quickly as the game clock is going to start right now at the 20 mark.
Needing the 31. Thrown high, incomplete. And that'll do it for Dallas offensively. New York gets the ball back with 1:13 left. And even with these rules inside of 2 minutes, if they get 1 first down, this thing's over.
Yeah. You can basically kneel at about a minute. So they've got 13 seconds to.
Close. C flag. 34 Mike. 0 close. C flag. 34 Mike.
They will be running it.
On a good performance again from Luis Perez. Not earth-shattering stats, 229 yards, 1 touchdown. The 1 pick was tipped. But a guy just kind of stabilized this team and stabilized this offense in particular. And really got it going in the second half. And it seems as though this whole team has responded to the change at quarterback. Tim Cook caught right at the line of scrimmage. Well, we talked about Dallas still being in it, and you can see their upcoming schedule here. And once again, they expect Landry Jones, hopefully, to be back in about 2 weeks for that Tampa Bay Vipers game.
And we will be in D.C., Kurt, for that game against the Defenders. Then they're back on the road. And Tampa Bay against the Vipers, Seattle, then another showdown against Houston. who is running away with that West right now.
5-0 are the Roughnecks, the only unbeaten team in the XFL. Tim Cook tries to run a little bit more clock. Once again, once this ball is spotted, they let 5 seconds run off, and then the game clock will start.
So impressed with that offensive line, even with the guys that they got banged up. John Kling, again, was injured. Jaron Jones was ejected, and they still were able to run the football and really own that line of scrimmage.
Yeah, 146 yards rushing. New York forced to use a timeout to save the play clock to avert the penalty. All right, and so we're going to go out on a limb and put New York in the win column for this one. And so with this victory, 2 in a row for them. They're now 3-2, and at least for now, in second place in the East.
Those two teams at the top of those East standings are complete teams, and Kevin Gilbride has done a heck of a job here, making sure that this team stayed the course, calmed down. They got Perez in at quarterback, and they are certainly a threat, and we saw that today. And they got more explosive.
They got big plays on all sides of the ball. Tim Cook hitting the backfield. Nowhere to go on that one. Okeke blowing that play up, bringing up a 4th down. So with, 4th down, I mean, it's not even a full second difference here.
And he's going to call the timeout with 1 second.
Just told me. I'm going to call you 1 second. We're not out of time. Call. Timeout.
So he got the timeout with 1 second left.
New York.
You didn't know if they were going to snap it and run around and end the game like that, or how they were going to do it, but you heard it from the coach's mouth.
I wouldn't even put the special teams out there. Just leave your offense on the field. All you have to do is, yeah, absolutely, because
what's the point?
No, don't actually. No, I mean, Landry Jones just got hurt last week on quarterback sneak. You should not quarterback sneak here. You get in shotgun, you snap the football, and Luis Perez rolls out of the pocket and throws it as far as he can out of bounds. That's how. This is not what you should do here. You should not. Please, Luis Perez. I'm not even going to say it.
Well, that's what I thought they might do instead of using the timeout.
There's no reason to sneak here.
And he falls forward safely to end the ball game. So New York gets his first,
but it worked.
Yeah, it worked for them to get their first road win of the season. New York goes to 3-2. They knock off Dallas 30-12 here in Texas. Back to wrap things up right after this.